Alright, before we jump into the game, I want to quickly talk about the load all resources. It's not much has changed for the other stuff, but this is the particle effect manager. We just give it a texture that it will take care of. We tell it to load it, and then we can edit the values as we want. I've edited these ones quite a bit, but this one just uses the default values that is set up. And you can change these as much as you want, so that all the user has to do is call get, particle effect manager get, and then spawn emitter. So jumping into the game, we have level 1. The debug stuff is still on, for me mostly, just to show it off as well. So we have the terrain colliding properly. I saw the suggestion about making the tank tilt to match the normal, but again, I did not have much time. So going through, we have our buildings laid out here. If we shoot them, they spawn a shower of what should be red particles, but for some reason that texture is still messed up. And then after a short delay, they spawn some smoke effects. This is done using the particle system. Again, we have our shower of sparks, and then after a delay, our smoke comes out. And we can change those values fairly easily. We can change the delay on how long it takes for the smoke to appear, or whatever we want. So after completing this level, we go into level 2. It's received a bit of a touch-up. The buildings scale randomly, and again, when they all die, they explode in a shower. Unfortunately, this level will also show some limitations of my particle system. I don't know how well you can tell, but there was a bit of a lag spike right there. So let me just quickly kill them. Another thing to note is that the player now has a cooldown between shots. So going to shoot them, avoid his bullet. Now we have to go find the final... Oh, that was just an unfortunate spawn position. The bots can't actually move through the buildings anymore. As you can see here, he's trying to move, but he's constantly getting stuck because he's colliding with the building itself. That jitter there is because he's trying to move, but he collides. So we just have a very simple revert back to your previous position solution. We can collide with them, though. That's because the player doesn't have collision, but they can't. If they collide with us, they have that same return to your previous orientation. This is the final level. As you can see, we have quite a few enemies, and they are constantly spawning, so I'm going to quickly run in here. Because the AI and the player use the same bullets, the boss does take HP damage from them, so they do help us out a little with that. And that's the tank game. Now to talk about the 2 bugs that I could not squash. The first one is, for some reason, the terrain does not fully deregister itself. If we try to play again, we just straight up crash. We can go through a game perfectly fine, but for some reason, the terrain is not deregistering itself despite me telling it to. I think it has to do with the scene changing before the update, before the deregistration command is fully processed, but I'm not positive, and all of my tests, calling in extra execute, for example, before switching scenes, nothing I did really got rid of this bug, so I'm at a loss. I've spent this entire day mostly trying to tackle that bug. The second bug is if we are to run the game again, and let's spawn a particle system. Let's spawn 2 particle systems, actually. So they're doing their thing. We're spawning quite a lot of particles. Let's get out. It's a memory bug because we fail. The burst, for some reason, fails. It's because of this line right here. we're creating an array of an array of pointers. At the end, we recycle all of our particles properly, but we're also calling delete on all of our particles. And for some reason, I don't know why, but this isn't registering as getting rid of the array of particles, so I'm not entirely sure what's going on there. Those are the two bugs, but we have a fully functioning game and a mostly functioning engine. So that's all I have.